how have you been since the pageant?
I've been good, been keeping busy, that's for sure.
What was it like going from a virtual pageant to an in-person pageant for you?
It was definitely like a huge difference. I've done in person before I did the virtual, so I had like some background, which was
Hmm.
nice. But I feel like with the virtual, it helped me like gain the confidence to go in person again because it's a drastic like change from
Hmm.
talking through a screen to talking in person.
Hmm. How would you say like that affected you? Do you think you did better in person or better virtual? Like, where's your comfort zone lie?
I think I did better in person just because I feel like actually talking face to face makes me
Hmm.
feel more comfortable and like more it's like easier to access like asking questions and all that. So I feel like I grew a lot more doing nationals in person.
Because I know for a lot of people who do in person and then do virtual, it's kind of a huge shift because now you're going from like being with these people every single day for like an entire week to only being able to text them and maybe like video call on like the workshops and such, which I feel like is it's great that you can still access that online, but it's a little different when you have to only talk to people virtually. And I felt like I was personally able to like enjoy the in-person pageants a bit more because you were like there in the moment and you could really enjoy it with everybody, right?
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially like the virtual pageants, it's so hard to actually connect with all the
Hmm.
girls on a personal level because again, it's just through a screen and sometimes people can't even video call because they're too busy doing like their own stuff.
Hmm.
So I think that in person is definitely a lot better to actually get to know everyone.
Hmm. And was this your first pageant, the virtual pageant, or have you done pageants before this?
I started doing pageants in 2019, I believe.
Hmm.
Like just like provincial ones, nothing like big, but once I found like personality pageants, I definitely found a place where I'm more comfortable to do more things and grow in my pageant career.
Hmm. And could you talk a little bit about what your platform is?
For sure. So my platform is global warming, specifically how to live sustainably, and I promote that through my business, Lapwerk Collection. I make clothings out of recycled stuff from Value Village or any thrift stores because a lot of their stuff, 80% of stuff donated to stores like that go to the landfill. So trying to give back, create new things, and promote living sustainably.
That's amazing. How did you get into like making clothes? I feel like that's such a great hobby to have because you can really be as sustainable as you want to be, but it's also so difficult to learn.
Oh, for sure. I first got inspired. I saw some people who lived in America doing the exact same thing, and it really inspired me to learn, and I've
Hmm.
always been creative, so I just got a sewing machine and I just taught myself watching videos is a big help for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, because I tried a few times to like sew some of my clothes on a sewing machine, and it either goes really well or really horribly, and I find out that in like the first 5 minutes of doing it, so I usually give up pretty quickly.
Honestly, that happens to me a lot. Like my thread will get stuck and I'll just get so
Hmm.
frustrated that I'll have to take a break. But then I always come back to it and then you have that mindset and you just learn from your mistakes,
Hmm.
honestly.
Because sometimes I'll finish something and then I'll forget the bobbin thread, and it'll just come completely undone. But I
Oh
feel
my,
like
that's
there's such
so
an
many times.
aspect of discipline to it, right? So how would you say that's affected you?
It's definitely hard because I'm moving right now, so I haven't like made time to make the clothes and stuff. So I could have more self-discipline to do the things that I need to do. But I think it does help me overcome like hardships because again, like a lot of things go wrong, but you still have to push through and complete the project.
And I feel like that applies just to life, not just to sewing, because sometimes things are going to go wrong. You have to still keep looking up, especially in pageantry.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like some people go to their first pageant and they don't do as well as they expected, but it's a learning experience as long as you go in with the right mindset to learn and grow, not even just in pageantry in your whole life, then you're gonna get what you want out of it for sure.
Hmm. What would you say is a big lesson from either sewing or pageantry that you've been able to apply to your life?
I've always been not the best at like talking to people. I have a
Hmm.
cognitive learning disability, so it's hard for me to get my words out in a way that either makes sense to the person I'm explaining to, or even to myself sometimes. But the thing that I've learned in pageantry is just keep practicing, keep doing things like what we're doing right
Mm-hmm.
now. Like, it just keep pushing myself out of my comfort zone to better myself.
Mm-hmm. I can relate to that because I used to be very shy and I couldn't imagine even 10 years ago that I'd be doing pageantry. I'd just be thinking like, what? That's ridiculous. Why would you ever do something like that?
No, that's literally me. Like, I was so shy, but the
Mm-hmm.
more I grow up, the more I realize I have to push myself to have new experiences. Otherwise, I'm just gonna stay in my little bubble.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And what would you say inspired you to pick this one specific platform as opposed to like any of your other options?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. My sister Mercedes, she did Miss Teen Earth,
Mm-hmm.
and everything that she did with her platform just inspired me because we've always lived in the country, we've always enjoyed nature, and we always like embraced it. But I didn't realize how much it had an effect on my life
Mm-hmm.
because we lived out, not in the city. So seeing her use her platform in that in the way to inspire others had a big effect on me, and that's why I decided to make it my platform as well. Obviously, with her permission.
That's beautiful. I love that like sisterly bond you guys have. How would you say that that's affected you? Because I have two brothers, and whenever I go to a pageant, if I win something, they'd be like, "Oh, we won, really? I'm the Mister like personality, like Eastern Canada."
Well,
And how
first of
would
all,
you say it's
you
affected
should
you
tell
having a
them to
sister
do a
then?
Mister.
Oh yeah, I've been
Honestly,
trying.
she pushes me so much. Like, there will be times in a pageant, like nationals, for example, I was really stressing out for my interview because
Mm-hmm.
that's not my strong suit. And she was just sitting there kind of being my coach, like saying like just drink some water, try to like distract yourself, but like also think about the things that you want to talk about in your interview.
Mm-hmm.
And that really helped me going in, and I think that's the reason that I won my title, honestly, is because she helped me so much.
That's so sweet. It's nice to have someone to share it with because it's one thing to have a friend, but to really have like your sister along with you on that whole journey, especially since at nationals, I believe Mercedes was there along with us, right?
Yeah, yeah, I believe so.
Mm-hmm. So that must have been like really nice to have her like in the moment there with you, supporting you through the way.
Exactly. And it's so nice because I get to do the same with her when she goes international. Like, we kind of have like this exchange where she does my makeup for my pageant and I do her hair for her pageants because those are our strong suits. So it's really nice getting to see her compete like all around the world.
Mm-hmm. And what would you say that like how would you say that's affected you and what your goals are in pageantry?
Like, looking up to her, honestly, just seeing her stage presence in her international pageants just gives me so much knowledge on what I need to work on to get to even nearly what she's at because she's so amazing. But
Mm-hmm.
it's just I get to learn so much even from the behind the scenes because I'm always there helping her with her national costume and stuff. It's it's just so crazy how different international pageants are from nationals or provincials. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
difference. So I get to learn a lot about the international pageant area.
Mm-hmm. And honestly, I feel like it's so amazing what even you've accomplished so far because getting like the Miss Eastern Canada title, for me at least, it was very difficult. It took a long like time for me to get to this point, and I feel like that's something to really be proud of, you know?
I definitely agree, and I'm so glad to be sharing it with you, honestly, because you're doing so much. Like, you're doing podcasts. I could never interview someone as well as you interview everyone.
But you're here
But
right now.
it exactly. But it is just it's amazing that everyone just in the pageant world, everyone's so motivating and try to help each other reach our goals. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that it took you so long just means that you're willing to grow in everything that you do.
Mm-hmm. You as well. You've been doing this since 2019, you said. And if I looked at the first year I competed in pageantry and I looked at myself now, I don't think I'm the same person. And I'm quite sure that you'll be able to say the same too, right?
Oh, for sure. Like, the first pageant I did, it was alongside my sister. I did the Miss and she did the teen. It was just a weekend thing. And the only reason I had the confidence to do it is because she was there. And I was so shy and she was
Mm-hmm.
just trying to put me out of my comfort zone. But I'm really glad that I had that experience with her because now I'm learning more about myself and becoming more confident with who I am.
Exactly. And I feel like in life it's really easy to look at someone and see how good they are at what they're doing and feel jealous or feel like, oh, why can't I do that? Because that used to be such a big roadblock for me. As much as it can be a motivator to see other girls in pageantry doing so much and accomplishing so much, there is always like a small level of like, I should be able to do that, or why can't I do that? So, how would you say that you've overcome that?
Well, I try to think of it not as I'm jealous of this person,
Mm-hmm.
more of how can I get to the place that they're at in my own way. Like for example, Charlotte, our Miss Personality
Mm-hmm.
Canada, I always look at the things she's doing and I go, okay, I want to aspire to be like her. How can I get on to the same path as her, but in my own way? Because she's
Mm-hmm.
posting a lot of social media, so I'm trying to post a little bit more because I have been lacking. So it's just watching those people that you look up to and trying to be like, I don't want to be jealous of them. I want to become more like them in my own way.
100%. The in your own way part is so important because it can be easy to lose sight of yourself while trying to attain a goal. And it's good to remind yourself, like, this is my own journey and I don't need to, like, try to copy somebody else because if you do, you'll only ever be a second-rate version of them when you could be a first-rate version of yourself.
Oh, for sure. Like everyone has their own journey and some people might get to it quicker than
Mm-hmm.
others, but it's your path and yours is not going to be the same as someone else's.
Mm-hmm. And I know from experience that your journey doesn't always have to look the same. Like, it may feel like someone's doing something faster than you are, but that doesn't mean that you're in a race. It's sort of that you're living your own journey, and you shouldn't try to push yourself to do things faster or to do things slower because you feel like your timing is wrong. Because I like to think that God's timing is perfect, and what's meant for you will happen eventually. You just need to give it time, and you need to put in the effort, and you will receive the rewards.
I definitely agree. Like if you don't win the
Mm-hmm.
title you wanted or get the job that you wanted, it just might not be for you. It might not be your time. You might have some more growing to do to get to that place.
Mm-hmm, exactly. What would you say from now your future in pageantry? What does that look like?
Well, I do have nationals coming up. Are you going to nationals?
I won't be participating, but I would love to attend.
Yeah, it would be amazing to have you attend even just as a past title holder. That'd be amazing. But I am going to nationals this year to compete. So I'm getting everything in order for that, which is a lot because I'm also moving
Mm-hmm.
at the same
Oh wow,
time.
that's hectic.
Yeah, it definitely is a lot, but I'm trying to use my time management wisely to get to that place. And if I win a title, amazing. If I don't, I'm learning, I'm doing workshops, I'm growing, but hopefully.
I'm really excited for you because I feel like you have some real potential and you've been working so hard at it. I'm going to be rooting for you so hard as like my Miss counterpart.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I definitely have been working to better myself, especially like trying to talk to people more, learn more about interview stuff, because
Mm-hmm.
again, that's like my weak part, but that's okay because I'm gonna work on it.
How would you say your prep for this nationals has changed since your last nationals?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm really bad at like prepping and time management. So last year, everything was like last minute ordering all
Mm-hmm.
my outfits. But this year, I'm definitely planning. I'm doing a lot of workshops. I have some stuff with Charlotte and Alicia that I'm doing, which is really amazing to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm definitely trying to plan ahead of time all my outfits to have everything ready and even just doing like mock interviews with my sister just to get myself prepared a little bit. It's
Mm-hmm.
just I'm trying to be way more prepared than last year.
I can so relate to that because last year I actually wasn't going to attend until the last minute. I think it was like a week before the deadline that I was like, let's just do it. Let's try it again. And
Well, it's
so a lot
amazing.
of things happened last minute for me too. So I can understand how terrifying that must be.
Yeah, it's definitely hard when when you're just planning last minute, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean you learned a lot and you even got a title, so that's
Mm-hmm. So
amazing.
did you. So I feel like with the extra prep, maybe you can be the next Miss Personality Canada.
Maybe. Who knows? Maybe.
Yeah. How would you say that doing pageants has changed your perspective on what it means to be a title holder?
I When I first started, I thought sometimes maybe the title holder doesn't deserve it because I couldn't see past my insecurities.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm like, I see why they deserve it over me or anyone else. And I see how hard the title holders work. So I think being a title holder means just integrity and living up to your title and inspiring other people, whether it's with your platform or just in pageantry or in your day-to-day life.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing because I know how it can feel to not win a title and then to feel down on yourself. But what I was doing since my very first pageant, I don't even know where I got this idea, but I would write down all of my questions like 5 minutes after the interview. I'd just come out and on my notepad, I'd be like furiously writing what the questions were so I can practice on it next time. And that was something I would say has helped me a lot because now I have like a few pages of like interview questions that I've gotten before that now if I ever get them again, I know that I'm prepared. And I feel knowing your weaknesses and knowing your strengths is something really important when it comes to preparing for pageantry because if you fail one time that doesn't mean that you're done for good and that you can never win a title, but it just means that you have to be a little extra honest with yourself and see where you can really improve, because if you're not willing to face yourself honestly and not willing to see what you're lacking or why you didn't win that title, then I don't think you'll ever be able to grow.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like even Charlotte, like every time she's in a workshop with me, she's always like asking questions and still
Mm-hmm.
wanting to learn more, even though she's already got the title that she wanted to win, which is so amazing, and it's just something to look up to, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It really is. And it's something that it's a skill that you have to learn over the years. It's not just something that you get like that.
Yeah, it's definitely something you have to work on.
Mm-hmm. And if you would win, what is the legacy that you want to leave for the rest of the contestants?
Oh, that's a hard question. But it's a good one. I think my legacy that I would want to leave is honestly be yourself and advocate for your platform to the best of your abilities because I know everyone's platforms
Mm-hmm.
mean so much to each and every one of us. So just advocate your platform and be yourself and you'll do the best that you can and definitely work on the things you want to work on and try not to be
Mm-hmm.
jealous of others.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I took that question from Arlene when she was doing the interviews for Miss Queen Teen Canada. So I was like, oh, that's a good question. I should ask that to someone.
Oh my gosh, I
Sorry
love
for putting
Arlene.
you on the spot.
No, that's okay.
And any closing thoughts to end this interview?
For anyone listening, if you're wanting to do a pageant, I think go for it, even if you feel like you're not
Mm-hmm.
ready. You might not ever feel like you're ready, but the only way you're going to be ready is to experience it and to meet amazing women and just be a part of something bigger than yourself.
Mm-hmm. I love that about being a part of something bigger than yourself because you really are leaving a legacy behind for the next generation of pageant queens. And I love being able to see the excitement on people's faces as they immediately get crowned because it's like you were there before, like you've experienced that, and now you get to give that to somebody else.
I know, it's just so amazing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I felt so honored for my sister crowning me and being up there with me for that moment. Like, it was just an amazing moment, and I know everyone will get their moment at
Mm-hmm.
some point.
Yeah, that photo with you two in the dresses and her crowning you, that must be like perfect for your photo albums.
Oh my, it's literally my favorite photo of us.